Hello and welcome to this new video where we are going to have a look at how to install the Anvaigo Checklist app to your Business Central environment. We're going to start by opening up our Microsoft AppSource and search for Anvaigo. We will find the Anvaigo checklist right here and install it into our Business Central environment. This will open Business Central. You will have to log in. In our case, this is already done. And we'll choose the environment that we want to install it to. So for today, the sandbox environment. We will have to choose the language. And then the Anvaigo Checklist app will be installed. Or actually, it's two different steps that is going to happen right now. First of all, the Anvaigo mobile app toolbox will be installed, and on the other hand, the Anvaigo checklist app in particular. This will roughly take 1 or 2 minutes, and then we can continue. All right, now that the extension has been installed, we can just close this and quickly double check our extension management to see if the Anvaigo mobile app has been installed. I have it here with a list view, and we see the Anvaigo mobile app and we see the Anvaigo checklist app. Perfect. So let's refresh the entire page. So everything is up to speed. All that is done. We will just have to go and access the Anvaigo mobile app setup wizard to set up the Anvaigo checklist. So first of all, we will have to choose an instance name, which is then linked to your company and is relevant for license assignment at a later stage of this video. So let's call it Kai Testing. All right. Next up, we'll choose our time zone, followed by my contact details. Make sure that we can reach out to you to support you in any possible way. Next up, we will have to accept the end user license agreement. We can access them with these hyperlinks. So now at this stage of the setup wizards, there's 3 things that we need to do. First of all, we need to fill in our web service base URL. This is something that usually fills in automatically. If it doesn't, just go ahead and look for web services and you can double check that for yourself. Second off, we have to look at the default company that we want to install this to. In this case, it's Kronos DE. And last but not least, this is something that will be set up at that point as well, because our mobile app will need to be accessing your Business Central. This is something where you have to grant us rights to. In our case, this is already done, but if you click this hyperlink, you will get an explanation on how this is done in particular. Make sure that you have someone with administrator rights available, because he will be needed to grant the access. So now this is being set up. Depending on how many data you will have, this may take a couple of minutes, but usually it should be done rather quickly. All right, perfect. The Anvaigo checklist app. So let's go ahead and install everything that is relevant. So now, first thing that we need to do is we have to create a checklist number series to make sure that this is automatically done with our checklist app. So let's just give the code checklist, for example. Let's call it checklist app. Have a starting number. This would be, let's say, checklist 001, checklist 9. All right. Of course, you will have to make sure that this is automatically selected as default. All right. In this case, of course, I will also download our example checklist so that I can show you in the app afterwards what we have pre-set up, so you kind of get an idea of what is possible. All right, let's continue. So this is where all the relevant information was taken from. We will have one user that is being set up at this point as well. So that will be me for today. Then let's continue as well. So while this is setting up, we can do something simultaneously. We will just open our Microsoft Store. I will put that up on the screen here as well. We'll search for Anvaigo as well. Let's look for this. And all we need to do is download this as well if you haven't done so already. And then you can just open the Anvaigo app. So we will have the option of adding an account. So we will need a server name, a username, and a password. And this is something that you will get in Business Central straight away. So as I mentioned, this might take a couple of minutes because depending on the size of your database, what is happening in the background is that we install our Delta service to make sure that whenever we synchronize data to our mobile device or to the checklist app, that we don't send the entire database, but only everything that has changed since the last synchronization. So let's pull up the app again and use the login data or login details that we've just received here. So we have Kai testing, my username, and my password. Of course, this is something that you can change at a later stage. Right. So this is where the Anvaigo checklist will initialize for the first time, get all the data onto the device. And this is the part where, basically everything gets synchronized. And voila, this is our Anvaigo checklist app linked directly to my Business Central environment. I have all the new checklists that are available. You even have a guided tour that you can have a look at to see which possibilities you have in terms of the checklist. One more thing that might be interesting at this point, so let's quickly have a look at the Anvaigo setup. So whenever you want to reference this to us, in case you, for example, need a bigger license, because standard is you have a 30-day trial license for 3 users. In our case here, we have 1 user that is already in use, the one that we just set up. But if you wish to have a bigger license or you want to extend this period for another 30 days, get in touch with us at partner@anvaigo.com. And then with the reference to this instance name, we can make sure that we assign a new license and then that you can continue testing the solution. See you in the next video.